Hey guys, so it's Saturday. I've been out here for a while now, and I was convinced that I had another one of these brackets here, and I had a really good look around, and I ended up finding what I think is probably the right cable for this truck. It actually probably is the original one, so I kind of screwed up a bit here, but in any case, so what you can see is this is the cable I was gonna try in here, and it's actually too short. This is the cable that I'm pretty sure is the original cable, and you can see that it's significantly longer than this one. Actually, the more important part of that is not so much that it's, you know, what, 8-10 inches longer, but where this is relative, you know, to the length of the cable there, because this one's fairly far back of it, and that's what needs to be there on the bracket. I also was thinking about it, and I still have to verify this in the assembly manual for this truck, but I think that it didn't need that bar, because I was looking around and I found actually all the bits and pieces that came off this truck, and there's only one of these, and I think that was on the passenger side in place of where that bar is underneath there. So I'm gonna try that out, see how it goes. I've got new ones, you know, if you're wondering, that's what I'm referring to as the bar there. And I've got new ones of those brackets that are right there, and it may be possible that all I need to do is just bring those back a bit to bring up the tension, probably to that location. Maybe not be necessary, but we'll see how we go here, and then we can work it out. And probably what it's meant to be is that one's meant to be in the hole above where I've got this rod sticking through, and this one on this side may be meant to be in that location. We have to see. It might interfere with the muffler bracket, but we'll see how we go. It may just be that it, you know, that one is where it is, and this is where the parking brake part of the cable attaches to here to, you know, to pull on it and activate the parking brake. Anyways, I'm gonna have to clean that one up, so it delays me again on my parking brake, but I'm not too worried about it. This is really a miscellaneous stuff day. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do the weather stripping today. The weather isn't cooperating. It's kind of coolish, and I think it's hovering right around the magic number where, yeah, it's not even 60 in here, I don't think. So it's a little cool for the adhesive. I think they recommend at least being 60, which is like 15 Celsius, I think. So I'll probably have to leave that for another day. But I got no shortage of other stuff to do. And cats for company. Okay, here's another thing that occupied my day today, or is occupying my day today. I went to go and shake some rattle can in this thing, and it was locked up. It wasn't shaking hardly at all. And I thought at first it was the aero motor here, but it ended up being that this main shaft here was completely locked up. And I took it apart, drove out the shaft with the mallet and all that, and all the grease had basically hardened into some kind of black, you know, almost glue. But cleaned that up with some brake cleaner, and it's working fine now. So I'm going to mount it back where it's supposed to be and move on to the next thing there. Okay, this thing is working better than it did when it was new, so I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, so I got 2 coats of primer and chassis black on this. I was doing this, shooting shots of this while I was repairing the shaker there, and I think it looks good. And as soon as this dries, I suppose I'll put it on. No idea what I'm doing next. I think I'm going to do the steering column here. So, or well, you know what I mean. I mean the steering wheel, like permanently attaching it on here. I'm not sure I'm going to be too happy with this setup here. Is with the adapter on there, there's quite a big space behind this piece here. I'll show you guys when I'm done. You guys can see. Hopefully it'll close up some when I tighten up the bolt on this, but we will see. Hopefully it'll pull it down fairly far, but I don't think it can. Anyways, I'm going to get to that. Okay, steering wheel's all hooked up. No play. That new steering box certainly paid off. And the horn is hooked up here. But I hope the real one isn't that anemic. Just got my multimeter hooked up. Some notes on this Grant steering wheel here. With my unit, I had that kind of turn signal canceller mechanism, and that means that you have to pop the shaft out of this hole here and all that, and reuse the spring, pull apart the plunger that comes with the unit, and reuse the spring from the plunger that came with the unit. Problem is, that spring is too goddamn long. I ended up cutting about a third of it off because there was just no way you're going to stuff it back into this this spot here that way. So just a note, you know, like, don't be too surprised. I put the cut end into the plunger and left the uncut end touching onto here so that it wouldn't, you know, pop over it and all that, you know, because there's a couple extra turns there. Well, overlap a bit. Apart from that, the other thing I would advise is don't try and assemble this portion right here on the column like I tried to at first. It's just a bitch. You're better off to take these pieces and bolt them together with these bolts loosely, and then put everything on the column, you know, get it set where you want to. I know you can't see the top of this, but you should be able to tell the top. You know, for my steering column, there's a bolt at the very top here. I know my emblem isn't quite straight. There's another thing to remember, is when you pop that thing on there, make sure it's straight, because boy, you can't turn it to you know, move it any way anyhow. I'll have to probably figure out how I'm supposed to pop that off. Oh, I see. There's a little slot in here that you can use to pop that off, so I can do that. I'm probably going to end up taking this apart anyways, because I have to. Oh, I want to change out these stocks. It seems that there's a bit of an inconsistency in the styles of stocks here. The old plasticky kind, you know, for the gear shifter and turn signal, but this the tilt part there is the newer, you know, 70s era, I guess, rubber kind. So I'll have to make that a little more consistent. I think I'm also, because this steering wheel had been sitting for a while, I'm noticing that these screws are looking a little bit, you know, off. So I'm going to go to Fastenal, and I'm going to see if I can get the same size in stainless, and see if I can get them polished or satin or something like that. Like, I've got these, just so you know what I'm talking about. I've got these, I think that's probably the same diameter, same head size and all that, but the length is wrong. The length is actually probably whatever the length of that is, probably 3/4 of an inch or something like that, maybe a little bit more, maybe a full inch, 7/8, some magic number. I'll figure it out. Anyways, here's a question for you, actually, because this is what I noticed is, I knew that the steering or the horn works by grounding the black lead on my harness to the column, and it's not clear to me if I need to bring a ground wire off of the column to the actual body here. Now, I'm assuming that probably most of the time it's supposed to, you know, ground you know, through contact to the metal strap there, but I painted or powder coated everything. So I guess I'm going to have to, because there's no contact, unless it was supposed to be grounded under the hood. That may be another possibility. I don't really know. If you happen to know the quick and dirty answer to that one, that'd help a lot. Anyways, I'm bumbling, stumbling, mumbling. I'll move on to the next thing. It's getting probably a little bit late on Saturday, but, you know, hey, I'm not working on a clock. Okay, so I was thinking about something. When I was rolling this truck around outside, I kind of noticed in one direction it didn't seem to be turning quite as sharp as in the other direction. So I decided to do a quick test here. And of course I do this after I've hard bolted this on, but it's only one nut to correct that, so I'm not too worried. But in any case, to the right, it would turn easily 1 3/4 turns, but to the left, it was only turning 1 1/2 turns. So I had a look under here, and on the right-hand side, there's a bump stop, sorry, not a bump stop, but a limit stop. And that was hitting, but here I'm not seeing that hit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust the drag link and basically shorten it a bit until I get this to come into close contact here. So you can see it closing up slowly here. And I'm actually turning it quite a lot. We'll see how we go here. But ideally, I suppose I should be checking in both directions that it's not going to change the limits, but I can do that after I'm done here. I have to get to the point where I at least can do that much with this thing. I do have it off the ground, or slightly off the ground. Certainly all the weight is off of the tires, so I can turn the front wheel fairly easily. And I've actually just hit the end of travel for this thing. Huh. I might not get any more than that out of this guy. Are we at the, yeah, two threads have met in the middle. That's interesting. Well, we'll see what it changed for us here. So, the wheel has turned some. So, I think I'm now hitting the bump stop. So that, let's have a look here. Yeah, we're now hitting the bump stop. So I might have over-adjusted it here. We'll see how we go. Okay, so now is going to be the pain in the ass, because the steering wheel isn't going to be all the way forward or centered for the center position. So I'm going to have to measure the distance between the tires and the leaves. That's what I've been using before as a reference. Yeah, it looks like it's almost completely upside down now for a rough straight ahead position, but this should be good enough for a test here. Okay, I never actually had the presence of mind to measure in the left hand direction, so let's see. So bottom is top. So it's 1, and about 3/4 turns. So 1 3/4 turn to go to hit lock there. I actually was hitting lock. I wasn't hitting a limit in the steering system. Okay. Anyways, now I'll try to the right. 1. Interesting. We are probably only getting 1 1/2 on the left hand or in the right hand direction. I doubt that we're hitting the bump stop on this end. So I might have to compromise a bit and split the difference between the two. Nope, definitely not hitting the bump stop here. Okay, so I'm going to have to turn that back, and I'll split the difference such that I close up that gap about halfway. And that should be good enough. I'm a little surprised. I would assume that the steering box would have had full travel, because that's the limits of the steering box itself. The pitman arm is keyed, so it can't go in the wrong position. So there isn't much I can do with that. About the only other thing I can do is play around with the drag link right now, because that's the only thing that'll adjust the front end. I haven't tried to do the toe in either. That might be completely wacky. I'll have to get an alignment done, but nevertheless, just something that might be useful to somebody, but nevertheless, is something that I thought was interesting. Yeah, those new U-joints sure rusted. Just from sitting, even the caliper rusted. That's a brand new caliper. And, I can't see the rotor, but the rotor probably doesn't look not too good either. Hopefully I won't have to return that. That would suck. Anyways. Okay, so the e-brake is all hooked up over here. I banged up some of my freshly painted parts, and they don't have the same gloss as the powder coated stuff, but I guess I can't panic too much. I couldn't powder coat the cable anyway, so it would have been a big deal. But it all works. It retracts. Of course, I don't have this end worked out. I still have to make those adapters at the backing plate. But all this is all set up here. Now, I still don't know what I'm supposed to have over there. I have to go and look at the assembly manual. I know I said that already, but I got to do it again. I also have to look and see what's supposed to be happening here, because for this length of cable, or for where this cable is coming out, it seems awfully close to the to this heater hanger here. Now, I don't see any way. I don't think there's any way it could be meant to go over it. I suppose it's possible. That might be why there's a bit of a dip there. In that case, if I moved that hook to the upper hole, it would come in over it, and that would be a little bit more in line with what this is. And then that would be a little bit smarter way of doing it. See, I've got that one up in a higher hole as well, so makes sense. Fairly straight run. I'm not 100% sure if I do need that other piece that pulls it back here. I'll have to see after I put it all together to see, like with the proper parking brake stuff. Boy, there's messy under here. When the parking brakes are hooked up, to see if I get the same travel on each side. This is this is what it is. Not going to panic too much here. Okay, so the tires and drums are off the truck again. I'm just preparing it again for the new studs, which I should have by Tuesday, and hopefully the parking adjuster hardware, I guess it is, for sometime next week, hopefully. I'm going to paint the drums with caliper, rotor, and drum paint, and that way they'll look a little bit prettier. It won't stop anything from happening to the inside until I drive this thing, but nevertheless. I'll also take the front calipers off this thing and paint them. And I don't know what else I'm going to end up doing tomorrow. It's about 7 o'clock on Saturday, so I'm knocking off anyways. And just so you know, no, you're not crazy, or it's not another symptom of your insanity. I did move the truck a couple of feet forward, just to a little bit more level spot in the garage. There was a bit of a hollow there, and it's just a pain in the butt. Things weren't sitting level. And obviously now they're quite level. So I'm getting this thing ready. I'm going to level the front end and probably put it on jack stands as well, so I don't have to worry about tire pressure. And then I will proceed to start doing my weather stripping if I can tomorrow, and as well start doing some of the panel alignment, I think. I went to go and pull the steering wheel off after I adjusted the drag link to see if I could center it properly, but my puller is not quite right for this. This has three screws on it, and my thing only has 2. So I need to get one of those kind of, splayed ones that are splayed like that, with as well one, going back into my wrist to pull that one off. Anyways, I love rambling, don't I? How's about a cat shot? Right, Tuffy? No interest? Cleaning your foot? Later, guys.